Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that's going to completely flip your perspective on one of the most famous cities in the world. When you hear Paris, you probably instantly picture glittering lights, high fashion, and romance, right? It's literally branded as the global capital of beauty. But we're going to peel back that romanticized image. We're heading underground to look at a jarring contrast, exploring a hidden reality where the very industry built on selling beauty is actually fueled by severe exploitation.
You know, Paris is exported all over the globe as the ultimate dream. Think of the golden streetlights, the high-end perfumes, those elegant storefronts. And for thousands of migrants worldwide, this perfectly curated image is way more than just a vacation destination. It's a literal escape hatch from poverty. It stands as a beacon of economic opportunity and the absolute peak of upward mobility. It's the Parisian dream. The idea is simple. If they can just get there, their hard work will finally pay off, and their lives will be completely transformed.
But man, that glittering illusion shatters almost the second they arrive. We are dropping right into the claustrophobic, windowless reality of underground beauty parlors. Just steps away from those beautiful boulevards, there's a vast, totally hidden network of Indian, Pakistani, and Nepali parlors operating entirely in the city's shadows. For a recent surge of Nepali women seeking asylum in France, the dream dissolves into a really harsh shared reality. We're talking undocumented status, unfulfilled dreams, and severe labor exploitation. They are the invisible workforce actually powering this industry.
So look at this brutal contrast. On one side, you've got the expectation, romance, luxury, upward mobility, the whole Parisian dream. But on the other side, the actual lived reality. Surviving day to day, undocumented, and facing extreme labor exploitation. The dream just evaporates, and what's left is pure survival. These women aren't experiencing the Paris you see in the movies. Not at all. They're trapped in a totally different world, hidden in plain sight, just trying to stay afloat in the shadows.
Section 1. The Architecture of Debt. Let's look at how this trap is set up.
Right now, there's a surging wave of Nepali women coming to France for asylum. But to even make that journey, they fall into a trap. Local middlemen extract absolutely exorbitant upfront fees, promising them safe passage and lucrative jobs once they land. The result? By the time these women step foot in Paris, they are already suffocating under massive international debt. This massive financial burden is literally the foundational pillar of their exploitation. They require immediate income just to survive and pay off their smugglers. They're trapped before they even unpack their bags.
And then they hit a brick wall, a 6-month legal limbo. French law strictly dictates that asylum seekers, people waiting for a decision from OFPR, the French protective agency, cannot legally work for their first 6 months in the country. It is a complete ban on legal employment. So picture this. You've just arrived, you're drowning in debt, you desperately need cash, but you are legally locked out of the legitimate workforce. It completely strips them of any safe options.
And here is the brutal truth. The debt they racked up in Nepal and the daily cost of just staying alive in Paris, those don't pause. The law might say you can't work, but your landlord still wants rent, you still need food, and the smugglers are definitely still demanding their cut. Because legal employment is frozen, this waiting period forces these women right into the waiting hands of exploitative underground salon owners. It's basically a trapdoor built right into the legal timeline.
Section 2. The Math of Exploitation. Let's break down the actual numbers.
Let's look at the visceral theft happening here step by step. The French legal minimum wage, the SMIC, sits around 1,700 to 1,800 euros before tax. But down in the underground salons, the absolute maximum monthly wage paid is only 800 to 900 euros. That's already half the legal minimum. But wait, it gets worse. From that 800, another 200 to 400 euros is instantly skimmed off the top to pay the middleman's commission. What's left is a tiny, poverty-level wage of 400 to 700 euros. That is all they have left to survive in one of the most expensive cities on the planet, all while paying off international debt. Mathematically, it's impossible to thrive.
Keep those poverty wages in your head, because I want you to focus on this single, staggering number, 60 hours. Because the financial theft is really only half the story. The other half is absolute physical exhaustion.
This financial theft powers what's essentially a 50-hour machine. Standard French law guarantees a 35-hour workweek with protected breaks. But remember, these women are stripped of those legal protections. In the reality of the underground salons, they are treated like human machinery. We're talking shifts running from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. That is 60 hours of continuous, grueling physical labor. They are blowing way past European legal limits, on their feet all day long, for a fraction of the minimum wage.
Section 3. Living in the shadows. The daily psychological terror.
Because working before that 6-month OFPRA clearance is a severe criminal offense. The stakes of getting caught are incredibly high. But look at how completely unbalanced the risks are. For the undocumented worker, discovery means the immediate risk of arrest, detention, up to 3 years in prison, and deportation. Their entire life could be ruined. But for the salon owner, it's primarily just a financial liability, a fine around €3,750 and maybe some jail time. The profit margins on this cheap, 60-hour-a-week labor are so huge that the owners gladly eat that risk. They are literally gambling with the workers' lives for profit.
To protect the owner from getting fined, the workers have to execute this highly choreographed theatrical drill the second police inspect the area. It goes down in seconds. Step 1, the alert. Someone yells, "Checking!" Step 2, drop the tools, instantly. Scissors, threading tools, and combs hit the floor. Step 3, the disguise. The worker abruptly drops into a styling chair. And Step 4, the prop. They grab a magazine, stare into the mirror, or fake a phone call to look exactly like a paying customer. It's a tense, daily performance they have to do just to survive.
It's what's known as the chameleon tactic. You can see the blueprint of the deception right here. Notice the flow, from the alert at the door, the abandoned tools on the floor, to the worker seamlessly blending in as a fake client. They're trained constantly in these theatrical drills. And the crazy part? It's not to protect themselves. It's to deceive inspecting officers and protect the owner's liability. It is a perfectly twisted ecosystem of hiding in plain sight.
Section 4. The paradox of protection. The ultimate trap.
Now, you might be wondering, why on earth don't they just leave? Well, the answer lies in the ultimate trap of French immigration law. To transition from an undocumented worker to a legal resident, you typically need 2 things: 5 continuous years of demonstrable work history in France and explicit sponsorship from your employer. Look at this agonizing timeline. Year after year of sustained exploitation, unpaid overtime, and constant legal anxiety, all building up to year 5. This law effectively hands total, absolute control of a worker's future to the exact same people exploiting them today.
And this brings us to the employer syndicate. Let's ground this in humanity and talk about a woman named Pooja. Her asylum application was definitively rejected in 2023. Yet she is completely trapped. Because she needs employer sponsorship for legal documents, the salon owners weaponize the law. They dangle this promise of papers to guarantee absolute obedience and keep her wages suppressed for half a decade. Trapped by debt and holding on to the distant hope of employer-sponsored legalization, Pooja remains stuck in the exact same cycle of exploitation right now. The very people stealing her wages hold the only key to her freedom.
So here is the core paradox we're left with. The underground salon is incredibly toxic, right? It's a site of extreme exploitation and massive wage theft. But at the exact same time, for a newly arrived, heavily indebted Nepali woman, it's her only immediate refuge from homelessness, starvation, and deportation. The shelter literally is the toxicity. The strict labor and asylum laws originally designed to regulate the market and protect workers have inadvertently locked the most vulnerable people into a hidden syndicate of cheap labor and endless anxiety. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to really chew on long after we finish. We've seen how well-intentioned legal loopholes can have absolutely devastating human consequences. So ask yourself, how do strict labor and asylum laws originally designed to protect workers, inadvertently create the perfect, inescapable trap for the most vulnerable people among us? Thank you so much for joining me. Keep asking questions and always keep looking beneath the surface.